all the devotees to our weekly Bhakti Vaibhav class. So in the previous class, we were discussing from the conversation that took place between the servants of Yamaraj and the servants of Lord Vishnu, the Yamadutas and the Vishnudutas. As Yamadutas were trying to take Ajamil out of his gross body, in which he performed so many sinful activities. But while the Yamadutas are pulling him out of the body, Ajamila chanted his son's name, Narayana, Narayana. So hearing those names, the names of their own master, poor Vishnuta suddenly appeared there, shouting loudly, saying that you Yamadutas, if you desire to live, stop there. So Yamadutas asked, who are you to stop us? We are the servants of Yamaraj. We are the followers of Dharmapala. Dharmapala Kinkara. Okay, you are the followers of Dharmapala? Then tell me what is Dharma. Tell me what is Dharma, tell me what is the Dharma, who are to be punished, under what circumstantial punishment is given, etc. Some question they asked. And Yamadutas, according to their understanding, what they have learnt from their master Yamaraj, they answered, what is Dharma, what is Adharma, who can be punished, who should not be punished, etc. In general, everyone performs activities under three modes. There is some tinge of Adharma, so everyone will be punished. Every human being will be punished in one sense, like that they said. So then they said, you people, what is this? You people say that Dharmapala, you people say that Dharma assembly, the assembly of Dharma, but in the Dharmic assembly, Adharma is taking place. You people don't understand the essence of Dharma. You people simply boast that you are the followers of Dharma, you are punish people according to the Adharmic activity they perform. But you are trying to punish an innocent person. The Amrita said, no, what innocence? He has performed so many sinful activities and he not even performed even one atonement. So he is supposed to be punished. So there is nothing wrong in it. Ajamila is supposed to be taken. He was a son of a Brahmana and he threw out his wife, his parents, and then he kept his in his home a prostitute and for to maintain her and her children. He's stealing, robbing, cheating, beating, and so many things he's doing. He's even killing the travelers for money. He should be killed. So Vishnuta says, actually, you people don't understand. You people speak about atonement. Just by chanting the name of Narayana, they have atoned for 1 crore lifetimes, maybe 50 lakhs before and 50 lakhs afterwards. There is no need to perform any more atonements. It is done for 1 crore lifetimes. What to speak of chanting Narayana at the time of death? Even chanting Narayana at the time of giving name to his son, his small son, he was atoned. So, but if you say that he was atoned for all the sins and all, then why did he perform all the sins even till now? They say it is like the biting of a snake after removing the poisonous tooth. It's biting, then there will be no effect of poison with it. So आप कैसे ऐसे कैसे बोल सकते हैं? What is the scriptural evidence for this? How can you say like that? So then they say that Sena Surapo Mitradrid Brahmaha Guru Talpaga Stri Rajapitru Gohanta Echa Patakinopare Sarvesham Ape Gavatam Vidam Eva Nishkritam Nama Vyaharanam Vishnu Ryatastad Vishayamati. Chanting the names of the Lord will free one, even if one commits the most abominable sinful activities which are counted as per the scriptures, such as stealing others, drinking wine, and cheating one's friend, and killing a brahmana, and killing one's guru talpaga, and sleeping with the wife of one's guru. Three Raja Pitru Gohanta, killing women, killing the king, killing one's father and forefathers, and killing the cows, and all such kind of grave sins, and also even all other skin sins also are simply eradicated, simply wiped off their reactions. One no need to separately perform another atonement. Actually, this is a byproduct. Chanting the holy name of the Lord will make the Lord to think about the devotee. Nama Vyaharanam Vishnur Yatastad Vishayamati. Lord Vishnu will start thinking about this person. Yeah, this person now, after millions of lifetimes, started chanting my name. And Lord will take the full responsibility of that person. And this person is not in the jurisdiction of any other person. So, like that, we discussed. So, for this verse, there are a lot of notes. And after the notes, we discussed. Another half notes are made left for you. You can read and for more detailed understanding. So basically, the notes say various question and answers. All of us might have what is the potency of holy name? Sometimes we may hear that holy name can do all these things. Are you exaggerating? Is there any scriptural evidence? So here in this notes, there are so many such kind of questions are there, and you say that chanting the holy name afterwards the people can perform sinful activity. There is no harm in that. But what to speak of the karma kanda rituals? They also perform karma kanda rituals and they can also perform sinful activities afterwards. They are also like biting of a toothless snake. Why not? Acharya say, is there any scriptural evidence for that? For this, after taking up to the process of bhakti, after having announced that, my dear Lord, I am yours, please take care of me. And afterwards, accidentally or willingly, if somebody performs sinful activities or something like that, still they will be taken care by the Supreme Lord. But that kind of statements are not made in the scriptures in case of karma, jnana, yoga, etc. Only in the case of bhakti, such kind of statements are made. So they are valid. Like that, the acharyas establish in this particular notes. And today, we'll continue from text number 11 onwards. So
Hey,
before
Vishnu.
starting, yeah, any questions if the devotees have based on the previous class, we'll take quickly and then we'll move on. Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji, that notes about the Nama for this verse, not,
Hmm.
there are so many things. Some two, three things I didn't understand that it is written that, and in some cases, the name does not show its effect at all in
Hmm.
order that the material scriptures, such as Karma
Hmm.
Kanda, are
Hmm.
not completely destroyed. Then, after doing this, the name takes the person who had chanted without offense to the Lord's above.
Hmm.
Conclusion should be understood. So I didn't quite understand what it means. Like
The people like me are example for that.
what project?
See, simple. See, you started chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra maybe 15 years. 2005 I started. 2005, 2006 I started chanting with the devotees. So many years happened, but nothing. Still, material desires are there. So many things are there. So that means whether it is working or not. So we may say that okay, I am chanting and sinful tendency should go away. We still sadhana nirharam Bhaskara, Eva Bhaskara. Like the sun removes all the fog as soon as it rises. So, but Abibi material desires are still there. So understanding is that the Acharya say that yes, apparently person may not realize what's happening. The person still will be filled with all the material hankering, material desires. The whole name will not show the power immediately. But the person will continue to be like a struggling person, normal like any other person going through physical disease, mental disease, and spiritual disease, all these things. But at least if once the name is taken seriously and sincerely, at the time of death, the death may be ghastly or normal or in a somewhat bedridden, medium, or etc. But after death, the holy name can take that person back home, back to Godhead. Even though apparently from the external point of view, the person seems to be not qualified to go back home, back to Godhead. Still struggling with anartha, still have impurities, etc., etc. But holy name can take one back home, back to Godhead at the time of death. After once, what is
That
the so-called karmas are over.
that means there may not be the explicit changes visible to the normal,
Ah,
but
yeah.
there are subtle level. There are changes occurring which we may not be able to perceive at this stage, like that.
Mm, mm. Yes, yes.
Okay,
Even
and
not even subtle level also we may not perceive. The whole holy name has complete independence. Like we say na in the Bhagavatam, Abhijna Swarat. Krishna is Abhijna Swarat. Very first verse says. Abhijna means all knowing. Swarat means completely independent. So we cannot demand him, oh, you should act immediately upon me. Not like that. He has the freedom to act whenever he want. For some people, there may be visible changes instantly. Even within it also, there may be some visible changes to some extent. May not be completely, but some extent there are visible changes are there. We cannot deny that. That is actually true. People can appreciate that. People can recognize within us. At least our old friends will recognize. "आप तो बहुत बड़ा change हो गया. You are not the same person." They will say. There are some, but internally we can realize internally what is our thought process, what kind of mentality will still hold on to, what kind of cunningness and what kind of comparative mentality, what kind of jealousy, etc. We still carry on. So there will be some changes. There are some inherent qualities are still there, but holy name can take us back to God in this very lifetime, or can make us stay here for a couple of more lives and learn the lesson hard way.
Okay. Prabhuji, there is one more thing mentioned that when his pious karmas were destroyed, his secondary bhakti was destroyed. Means they are talking about the mixed bhaktas, where the bhakti is mixed with karma or jnana. So when his pious karmas were destroyed, his secondary bhakti was also destroyed. And then pure bhakti appeared when he called out the name of his son Narayana. That's what it means about Ajamala they are saying. So
Of course,
I didn't, yeah. So
for people in general, people who are following the traditional varnashrama system, they naturally have inclination to perform the varnashrama duties at the most important thing they are supposed to do. So that kind of devotees are called Bhakti Mishra Karmis. They are actually dedicated to perform their duties. That's why they are Bhakti Mishra Karmis. But inherently, Bhakti is there. In whatever they do, there is Bhakti is there. And they treat Bhakti to be secondary, etc. And for them, the duty is important, like work is worship, something like that. But
yeah, like
eventually, they come to a point. अभी हो गया मेरा responsibilities complete हो गया अभी no more karma, no more activities. Now let me only focus on bhakti. So till now, the executing one's duties is the first position, bhakti in the second position. And now at the time of retirement, the duties have become secondary and bhakti has become primary. So in one sense, one's attachment to perform duties has reduced to zero. So then one is known as full bhakta, 100% bhakta. So then one only does bhakti. So in that way. But in the case of Ajamila, if you see, like this is for people in general, we can see it like this. And for Ajamila, he is neither karmi, nor jnani, nor yogi, or nor bhakta. He is simply a sinful person.
no, but here
A
Prabhuji, it
situation
was
after having associated the prostitute.
yeah. I understood your point, Prabhuji.
Hmm.
But the thing is, here what they're talking is about before he became sinful, when he was as a Brahmana. That time there was maybe the Karmi Brahmana, but there was a tinge of bhakti, which is the secondary part. He was
Yes.
the primary part. So they are saying that when his pious karmas were destroyed, his secondary bhakti was also destroyed during the process since he committed, right? And then pure bhakti appeared when he called out the name of his son Narayana. So, like, I was finding it difficult to understand that if secondary bhakti is also destroyed, then how the primary bhakti arrives like that?
See, secondary bhakti destroyed means it's not like that. Bhakti in the position of second, that will be taken out. As of till now, the karma, once duties have taken the first position, so one that is gone. So the karma being the first position, bhakti being second position, both are gone. Now bhakti only remains because now he's retired. He's no more bound to do any duties. So in that way.
Okay.
So even for
And
Rajamila, if you see, it is not about he's doing some duties. When he started chanting Narayana, all his sinful activities and their consecutive results are all purified. So his subsequent chanting of Narayana, though he is only calling his son's name, they are all considered to be pure bhakti. Because in a visible way, he is not committing any aparad. Even though
yeah,
whatever the activities he is doing, they are all sinful activities. There, none of them are aparadas. He is not doing any such activities knowingly. As this person is a devotee, I want to cheat him, or I want to beat him, or I want to steal him. He does not know only that. So that cannot be counted as aparad. So from the external point of view, it is a sin. But Ajamila chanted holy name offenselessly. So every time he called his name, yes, his son's name, Narayana, it's an act of pure bhakti.
Because this contrast, no, Prabhuji, it becomes a bit difficult to understand that those devotees who are seriously trying to do bhakti,
Hmm.
sadhana bhakti, maybe they are at the stage of sadhana bhakti, but still they are trying sincerely. But
Hmm.
still, they may commit some offense. But as you mentioned just before this, that there is no explicit change we are able to see. But
Hmm.
here we are seeing that Ajamila, who is chanting or who is calling the name of his sons,
Hmm.
but the name being the name of Lord, like it is to that extent, it is written in the notes that it is at the level of Raganuga Bhakti.
Hmm.
So it becomes very difficult. जो साधक कर रहा है कितने सालों से he is trying sincerely, he is still a sadhaka. And the person who is just calling the name of his son, he reaches at the level of Raganuga in spite of committing so many sins. So that
No, it is
contrast.
not that he is reaching at the level of Raganuga, but his chanting is like that of Raganuga Bhaktas. He is not at Raganuga level. His chanting is like that at the level of Raganuga Bhaktas because no one told him to chant first of all. And his chanting is pure out of pure love for his son. So these are like the similar nature of Raganuga. Raganuga Bhakti is also like that. There are no push. So one does spontaneously and one does out of affection. It is not out of expecting something in return. So that is
Okay.
Raganuga.
So sadhakas, they are expecting something in return. Means it may be spiritual desires, but they still
Yeah, in one sense, yeah, we are expecting now. We are expecting the purification of our heart. Is it not? We are
yeah.
always praying for it. So there is some anticipation. There is some expectation.
So that also we should not have, Prabhuji,
No, no,
actually.
no. It is not that we should not have. That is the symptom of Vedic Bhakti. That's all. Vedic Bhakti means there is some expectation. You can't dare deny that.
Okay. Means
You are
for
a,
Ajamila,
we
he
are a
was
Vedic
not.
we are a Vedic Bhakta. So these are the characteristics of a Vedic Bhakta. That's all. So if you go to the spontaneity, then you will be known as Raganuga Bhakta.
Okay. So for Ajamila, because he had no intention of calling the Lord, he had no desires also, nothing to ask from him. He was just plainly calling his
Ah,
son's name. So
yeah, yeah.
because of that, yeah,
See, it is
he was
not about
called.
minimizing. It is not about minimizing any devotee's sadhana. See, Ajamila's case you should not compare with us. Ajamila's case study is to give us hope. A holy name can do this. If a person like Ajamila can be liberated and can be taken back home back to God, why not me? I'm not that bad. Second thing, I think yesterday morning we were having in the Bhagavatam class, we were reading from second canto, third canto, second chapter. अहोबकीयं स्तनकालकूटं जिगांशयापा अपि असाध्वी लेबे गतिं दात्री उचितं ततोन्यं कं वा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेम. Uddhava is saying that who else is more merciful than Krishna? See here, what is the contrast? Putana is coming to kill Krishna, and Krishna is delivering her and giving her a position of a mother. So, what kind of contrast is this? Can you see such kind of a person anywhere in this world? So, why should I not take shelter of Krishna's holy feet? So I was discussing from 10th canto, the Putana episode. At the end, Sukadeva Goswami says that Yatu Dani api Yasargam Avapa Jananim Gatim. Putana is a category of Yatu Dani, matlab a Kechari category. Kechari matlab we have na Bhuta, Preta, Pishasha,
Yeah,
Kushmanda,
mostly.
Vetala. In that Pishasha category, ghostly beings. Kechari is also one kind of ghostly being. They are well known for drinking the blood of small kids. Putana is also one category like that only. She was drinking the blood of small kids. That the most heinous personality who is drinking the blood of small babies who are just born, maybe a day or week or a month. I mean, from a normal worldly point of view, this is the most heinous sin. And Lord Krishna gave her the position of a mother. Then Sukadeva Goswami says that if she gets the position of mother, Kimmu Gavanu Mataram, what Krishna will give to the mothers of Vrindavan and to the cows of the Vrindavan, who fed Krishna their butter and the milk for the as long as 11.5 years Krishna was there, and for one whole year they accepted Krishna to be their son. They don't know that Krishna is acting as their son, but they served Krishna as mother. So what is there in Krishna's hands to give them? And that means the Krishna's potency or holy name's potency or bhakti potency we can't even measure. It has unlimited capacity to award. But the only thing is that when it will award to a certain person, we cannot dictate. Hey, you should demand, you should display right now. Not like that. The holy name and the Bhakti Devi and Krishna is Abhijna Swarad. They are all knowing and they are all powerful. Whenever they want, they can display. So in the case of Ajamila, we are saying we are not done with the story. It is not that Ajamila. See, as of now, Ajamila is given a second chance. Entire sixth canto is all about giving second chance. Ajamila will perform bhakti seriously for 12 years, 12 long years, without any second thought. If we follow Ajamila's example, for the later part of 12 years, yeah, Vimana will come for us also to take back home back to Godhead, take us back home back to Godhead. Are we ready to do Ekanta Bhakti for 12 years? Or Ananya Bhakti we can say, or Ekanta Bhakti, whichever we can say. So
it will
the whole
unfold.
purpose of these chapters is to indicate us that the holy name, Bhakti Devi and Krishna Krupa are all potent. But we cannot demand to show the miracle right now in front of me for me. That's why it says that, yeah, once one has taken to Bhakti, the holy name does not show any symptoms in that person only. That person may continue to struggle with the anarthas, continue to struggle with the sinful activities, all these things. But at the time of death, the holy name can take him to back, take him back home back to God, provided he is ready to go back to Godhead. That is also there. He should be ready.
Ready in what sense?
Ready in what sense? Ananya chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahameham. Ana anya chinta. There will be no anya chinta. One should say that, my dear Lord, enough is enough. I am done with this material world. Please take me back home back to Godhead.
Okay, Prabhuji, there are 2-3 more very pressing doubts, but now the time is over, so I will not take the time of the class. After class, we can,
Yeah.
if you have time, we'll discuss.
Other devotees, anyone has any questions regarding previous class discussion or in this connection? If somebody had read the notes also.
In that
Prabhuji, thank you.
yeah. In that, if from the notes, Prabhuji, one more thing is there that those offenders who accept a Vaishnav Guru by Vaishnav initiation take shelter of Bhakti Devi purely or as the primary process, but mixed, and then worship the Lord by chanting. So I didn't understand this mix means even though somebody takes accepts the Vaishnava Guru and takes initiation from him and accept Bhakti Devi as pure in purity, still that bhakti being a primary process also, how it will be mixed.
See, mixed means, see, when this we discussed many times. Kindly remember this. Bhakti means Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. In addition to these 9 processes, anything you do that becomes mixed bhakti. Even our doing our duties, even our abilities to understand this material nature, material world. So such kind of any other activity other than the 9 activities that makes bhakti mixed bhakti. There is nothing wrong in mixed bhakti. Mixed bhakti is also uttama bhakti. the Anyabhilashita Shunyamena, the mixed bhakti also falls in the same category. It is not that it is not that one should not practice mixed bhakti. It is not that mixed bhaktas are low and others are high, not like that. Mixed bhaktas are also uttama bhaktas only, there is nothing wrong in it. But one day, when one wants to go back to Godhead, one should say full stop to all other activities other than bhakti activities. When one says, my dear Lord, till now I had so many material duties, so many duties in this world, so many worldly duties. I am done with all the duties. Now I am exclusively want to dedicate myself to your service alone, nothing else. That is called Ananya Bhakti. When one comes to that point, that means one is ready to go back home back to Godhead. Then Lord will take one back home back to Godhead. That is what the Bhagavad Gita verse says. Ananya chintayanto mam yejana paryupasate. Upasate means to serve the Lord. Paryupasate means serve the Lord completely. Also serve the Lord exclusively.
Yeah, Prabhuji, what you explained from that, I understood that two things. Like there are two kinds of mixed bhaktis. Like one which we call that bhakti mixed with jnana karma or whatever that thing yoga. That one part mixed bhakti, and another mixed bhakti is where the person is not solely dedicated to the Lord, but he is also doing his varnashram duties along with the bhakti process.
Yeah,
Is it
doing
right?
varnashram duties is means only karma mishra bhakti. As a grihastha performing varnashram duties means karma mishra bhakti.
So that means even if one may have desire, Prabhuji, but one will always remain a mixed bhakta, and somebody may not have that
No,
span. And
you cannot say always. You don't say always.
no, why
Why
I'm saying
when
this,
one practices bhakti, slowly there will be purification of the heart.
of course, there will be purification of the heart, but the worldly duties, suppose somebody is a grihastha and he
Hmm.
is doing, he has to do his worldly duties. And
Ah,
suppose the
yes.
person dies at the age of 55, for
Hmm.
example,
Hmm.
where he has not completed yet his varnashram duties, where he could have, completely left everything and do the Ananya Bhakti, Ekantiki Bhajan.
Who
Like,
will say that whether somebody is completed or not?
who will say means whatever, according to Grihasthashram, whatever responsibilities you have got, you have to finish it, no, Prabhuji? Means at least,
There is no end to household responsibilities in this world. The varnashram duties are unlimited. There is no end. Oneself has to decide. No one will say that, okay, my dear father, my dear mother, you have done so many duties. Please, you can take retirement now. No children, no dependent will ever say like that. It is they themselves should say that I am done with my duties. You take the responsibility, give the responsibility to next generation, and then take to retirement. It is their own decision. No one will tell. No superior, no junior, no equal will tell that oh you have done enough. You can stop. Not like that. If they are willing to go back to Godhead, they should say that okay, I'm done with my duties. That doesn't mean that without doing duties, they should not say that I'm done with my duties. They should do as much as they can do, as much as they should do, and they should do. After doing that, they should say that I'm done with my duties. Now I want to exclusively dedicate to my bhakti practice.
yeah, understood. Like how Bharat Maharaj and Privrit Maharaj, they just left whatever was there and then
Ah,
they left off for the forest. Like that.
ah.
Yeah,
Of course, in
understood.
our case, you don't have to go to forest, but give the responsibility to next generation and then exclusively involve in bhakti activities 24/7.
Yeah.
And since we are in preaching mission and also preaching activities.
Yeah, that's what like means ekantiki bhajan and preaching activity, both things means Prabhupada also used to say na that unless you have preached enough, you can't go to Vrindavan and you will not be able to do the ekantik bhajan unless you have preached enough.
See,
So
Ekantik Bhajan matlab not only to necessarily go to Vrindavan only, it's not like that. See, Ekantik Bhajan means, I mean, at least in the modern context, we can say that Even though you may be staying in South Mumbai, Palatial building or wherever, but still your thought process should not be increasing your sense gratification or increasing your comfort zone. One's thought process should be somehow or other how to engage in bhakti activities 24 by 7. Whether the engagement is by through preaching, whether it is by chanting, whether it is by doing kirtan, whether it is by doing japa, but one of these nine bhakti activities. Preaching means what? Preaching is also sharing Krishna consciousness with others. Na? You are facilitating them. If you are preparing boga, that is archana. If you are giving class, that is kirtanam. If you are doing kirtanam. So somewhere other, every activity that we do in preaching also, it has direct connection with one of these nine things. Unless until if somebody is doing to gain some name or fame, if somebody is doing out of compassion to help others to come close to Krishna, then it becomes bhakti.
Okay.
Otherwise, if somebody is doing to show off oneself, then we can say this is filled with ulterior motives.
Okay, so that means somebody is doing the counselor seva because the guru has given you that seva. So
Hmm.
you, even if there are so many things involved, and sometimes you feel that okay, means my time is really, I have to, I don't want to do this in a way. So many other things, taking care of devotees,
See,
talking
Mataji,
care.
simple. Do consular seva for 10 years, then take retirement. It is not that no one will force you to do it eternally.
Yeah.
For everything, there will be a retirement. It is not that one should not. If you are feeling disturbed by that, you can do that. Nothing like that. Okay, I think we'll do some class. I thought discussion chal raha hai.
Sorry, Guru.
ना निष्कृतिर्बुदितैर्ब्रह्मवादिभिः तथा
Nishkrit.
विशुध्यति अगवान् वृतादिभिः यथा हरेर्नामपदैरुताहृतै तदुत्तमश्लोकगुणोपलम्बकम्. Please someone read the translation.
By following the
By
Vedic.
following the Vedic, sorry, continue.
Continue, Mataji.
By following the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies or undergoing atonement, sinful men do not become as purified as by chanting once the holy name of the Lord Hari. Although ritualistic atonement may free one from sinful reactions, it does not awaken devotional service, unlike the chanting of the Lord's names, which reminds one of the Lord's fame, qualities, attributes, pastimes, and paraphernalia.
Yeah. See, this chapter should be an eye opener to show that Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Bhakti Devi, and Harinam, what kind of potency they possess. And we should never doubt about their potency. There may be so many difficulties in our practice of sadhana, there may be so many inabilities within us or the devotees in front of us. Sometimes we may say that what kind of devotee is he? Can't he understand why he is still doing like this? That is conditioning. It will not go that easily. Even now, I also go through some problem here with one devotee. I also told sometimes when you are practicing devotion service, why are you doing like this? So, but at one point of time, people don't accept also. And we may see that we may see some difficulties in some things not appropriate in somebody, but for them it is normal because they don't realize sometimes. They don't realize sometimes. So, and some problems within us, we may consider them to be normal, but they feel bad about it about them. So it is always going on. So we may say that why bhakti? You are practicing bhakti, you should behave normally. So one day there could be one question like that. Other question is, does bhakti is really acting upon us? We may have doubt. The thing is that bhakti had the potency, bhakti had the capacity, but whether it is acting upon us or not, we may not be able to realize. Somebody else may realize positively or negatively. And Bhakti Devi will, if we are sincere at heart to practice bhakti in spite of so many shortcomings, so many difficulties, so many ill tendencies, but if at all we become serious at one day, even for one day at the end of our life, saying that okay, I'm done, enough is enough, I'm done with all these things. So then also Bhakti Devi can take us back to Godhead. So that is required. So Ajamila story is eye opener. In spite of all these difficulties, Ajamila was saved from going to hell, but he was given second chance. He did not misutilize the second chance. He properly utilized the second chance. So in our case, whether Yamadutas will come or not, we don't know. But when we hear such kind of pastimes in the Bhagavatam, we should take them as a second chance giver. But in spite of that, we don't take it seriously afterwards. That means we have not taken second chance seriously. We are still in the first chance only. We are still going through first chance only. So when we get into the second phase of complete surrender, then we make ourselves ready to come back to Godhead. So till then, we should keep hearing such kind of pastimes to inspire ourselves to get into the second phase of our bhakti activities. So, so in that way, we should see this sixth canto. This entire sixth canto is like that. Even later on, we see at the end of the last chapter, Diti approaches her husband. My dear husband, I want to have a son who will kill Indra. So last time I asked you to I approached you for sons. I mean, somehow because of the wrong time, we had two sons, and somehow they were killed by the Lord. But they were killed by the Lord for the sake of Indra. So Indra, because of Indra's selfishness, my sons were got killed by the Lord immediately. Now I want to have a son who will kill Indra. So Kashyapa Muni told her, okay, you will have a son who will kill Indra, but you have to perform a vow vrata for that. Payovrata ceremony. No. Payovrata was performed by Aditi. This is Pumshavana Vrata. So by performing Pumshavana Vrata, which is exclusively meant for serving Lord Vishnu, her intention was to get a son who will kill Indra. That was very pretty clear. But the process was bhakti. She don't know that she is performing bhakti. She is performing a vrata, matlab, a ritualistic ceremony according to Vedic literatures, we can say. And but it is filled with Vishnu worship. So the result is her heart is purified. Whatever ill feelings she had for Indra, that is completely removed. And she begot 49 sons, not one, two, 49 sons who became devatas, which was her original desire. Originally, she wanted to have sons who will be glorified like the devatas, who will be one among the devatas. With that intention only she begot Hiranyaksha Hiranyakashipu, but they were asuras. Now she begot 49 sons who are like devatas. Now she is pure. She never had an intention to become pure, but she became pure by practicing bhakti. She had intention to have sons who will be glorified like devatas. That desire is purified. That desire is fulfilled. But she had to work hard. First time she made a mistake. Second time she wanted to make a mistake, but she was engaged in proper procedure. She was purified eventually because the process is appropriate. Similarly, we may have so many good or bad intentions within us, but if we practice bona fide process, the purification will take place certainly. Yeah, it may take some time. For some people, it may happen within 1 year or 1 decade. For some people, it may take one full time. For some people, it may take few full times, few full lifetimes also. No problem. Process will work. But the thing is that Diti executed the process with utmost sincerity. Even though her intention is bad, but she performed with utmost sincerity. And our intention may be good, but are we performing with utmost sincerity? That we have to question ourselves only. We cannot pinpoint to anybody else. We need to question, we need to ask this one question to ourselves. Though I may be speaking big words, I myself need to go through a long way. But at least from sixth canto point of view, we can see this. We have so many wide variety of examples. Currently, we are discussing the example of Ajamila. At the end, the example of Diti will come. In between, we'll see the examples of Daksha and Indra. Indra himself is an example, and Chitraketu Maharaj and Rudrasura. These are all different examples will come in this entire sixth canto. Everyone is a different case study. So if we analyze all these case studies properly, We have multiple examples to analyze, to compare, or to throw light to our daily practices. Okay, this person is completely sinful, Ajamila, but still he was given second chance, he utilized it properly, and he got perfection. And Diti was completely with bad intention, but still she practiced sincerely, she was purified. Daksha had a good intention, but he had a superiority complex. He thought, what I'm doing is the right thing, this is the proper way of bhakti. And what Narada is doing not proper. He cursed Narada. But Brahma came and told, please forget about all these things. Just beget daughters and engage them in producing progeny. Yeah, yes, he did it. So now he became calm. His intention is to do creation, that is satisfied. And he begot such a daughters and who helped in creating a wonderful progeny. And some of the daughters also had the Supreme Lord born in their lineage. So it is like that. We need intervention of some devotees in our life to understand what to do, what not to do also. That is there. And Chitraketu Maharaj, he thought, I'm a king. I need to produce progeny who will continue the legacy. He tried, but nothing happened. He was not supposed to get it. So in order to make him realize, so Angira Rishi gave him a son, Arshashoka. Then he realized, I should not do it. So he kind of became devotee, but he was made as a king of Gandharva Vidyadharas. He was roaming here only for 1 lakh years. The Lord was waiting. मैं तो आपको गंधर्व राजा बना दिया because you wanted to continue as a राजा. उनका मन में बहुत इच्छा था मैं राजा रहूं मेरा मेरे बाद मेरा बच्चा भी राजा बने और राजा के रूप में बहुत अच्छे से सेवा करे तो भगवान ने उनको आशा दिया अवसर दिया he was as a Vidyadhara he was doing whatever duties he was supposed to do as a king of Vidyadharas whatever services are there for Vidyadharas but the tenure is going long he was here only forgot to go back to Godhead. So Lord orchestrated the entire pastime that he was cursed by Mother Parvati to become Asurasura. Then he went back to Godhead instantly. He was born out of Yajna and he went and fought in a battle and he was killed in the battle. Within a year, in no time, he went back to Godhead. That is there. And Indra, he was doing his service, that is his bhakti. But lot of impediments in between. And he was fighting with each and every impediment. He thought, Indra thing, he is normal. Not only Indra, all of us. He was given a particular position and for him that is bhakti. And whenever that position is at stake, he is disturbed. ये मेरा पोजीशन जाएगा मेरा भक्ति जाएगा मेरा पोजीशन जाएगा मेरा भक्ति जाएगा so because of that insecurity whenever that insecurity is there he will make a mistake and Lord helps him understand that so don't do such kind of mistake please do your duty with alertness so these are all different case studies we can once we study entire sixth canto there will be presentations there will be some presentations on this analyzing on these case studies so they will help us what can happen in our life so that we have some example case studies and we also have the solutions for all those case studies so that we can help ourselves we can be cautious in our life so in that way we should look at the sixth canto instead of analyzing why things are happening and not happening in this my life like this like that they will take time or they have their own free will when to act when not to act we cannot demand we cannot argue but we should be careful not to do such kind of difficult mistakes but it's still in spite of being so careful we tend to do because the three modes are so powerful we are forced to commit mistakes many times so both are there so here Vishnu Dutas will continue to speak the glories of holy name till text number 19 he says that they say that a sinful man is not purified by abundant atonement or by vows mentioned by Manu and others. Manu and others means Manusmriti, the Dharma Shastras. The Dharma Shastras talk about complete details of Varnashram Dharma, what to do, what not to do. If somebody makes a mistake, how to rectify that by performing atonement, etc. etc. As much as he is purified by chanting even some portions of the names of the Lord, which produce realization of his qualities. See, Because the discussion is with Yamadutas. The Yamadutas are mainly contentious about two things. One thing, one should only perform dharma and one should not perform adharma. Second thing is that if at all one performed adharma, they should have performed atonement so that the adharma will be nullified. So as a result of that, they will not be taken to hell. Perform dharma. If by mistake, by unknowingly some adharma happened, do atonement. So the dharma is nullified. So one has performed dharma only, one will be taken to Swarga. One will not be going to Naraka. This is the normal understanding of dharmic principle. That's where Yamadutas are concerned about. Ajamila performed so many sins, he has not performed not even one atonement. So he is the default candidate for hell. And Vishnuja says, Arey, no need to worry. What to speak of chanting one Lord's holy name always? Even chanting once, not even the full name, even half the name, if one chants, that had the potency to purify the sin, even a person cannot even think to commit. Even a person can commit 1 crore lifetimes, even beyond that, can be purified by half holy name. Then what to speak of chanting one holy name? Then what to speak of chanting one lifetime's holy names? So like that. The name is described in 2 verses as most excellent, even for acting as atonement for all of the greatest sins. Thing is that for Yamadutas, they are telling atonement thing. But the holy name has the capacity, even half holy name one chants, one will realize the Lord and Lord's qualities. Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela will be revealed. What was that verse? Srila Prabhupada always quotes in Bhakti Rasam's in inward nectar of devotion. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kapunoi Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karoi Uday. That Krishna Prema, when that will be revealed? Shravana Adi Shuddha Chitta Karoi Uday. When we do Shravanam Kirtanam with Shuddha Shuddhi, without any offensive mentality, when we do it, so the things will manifest eventually. So now the question, we are doing it for many decades, but nothing is happening to us. Yeah, the day it will happen, we are in spiritual world. Why don't you think like that? Yeah, it is, and it is not happening now, but the day it happens, the next moment one will be taken back home, back to Godhead. Do we have patience? Do we have faith in the potency of bhakti? So, so it is like that. We should see. We can see like that also. So here, this verse and the next verse talks about the unlimited glories of holy name. Brahmavadibi means Manu and others. Nama Padai means just by some indications of the name, such as calling out the name as the sun also. Or it can mean one influenced, one inflected words indicating the Lord. In that case, the plural is used to indicate respect. This means that the word may have meaning or not, simply being one word of a sentence. The name should be chanted, but the mind may be attentive or not. That means Anantarama. Some may say that Anantarama. So here we have two names of the Lord. Ananta is there, Rama is there. But we are not chanting the name of the Lord. One of our friend may be Anantaram. We may be calling him, my dear Anantaram, please come here, let us go for Prasad. So one has chanted two names of the Lord unknowingly. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, no, Chaitanya Bhagavat, it is said that, what was that? Hala Rektam. So Haridas Tagore was glorifying the glories of holy name. He said that even if one chants Hala Rektam, Ha and Ri, the first two letters of the two words, it becomes Hari. It is considered. Even if one says Haram, Haram, Ram is there. The meaning of Haram is how terrible, how ghastly. But Ram name is there. Still that has the potency to do the needful. Even unknowingly, if one chants Lord's holy name, which is part of a sentence which one is saying, still that holy name has its potency to act. So now the question is, will that act immediately or afterwards? Yeah, it depends. It's up to the holy name. If holy name wants to act immediately, it will act immediately. If the holy name wants to wait and act, It will wait and act. So it's up to the holy name. He may be sinful without even following karma or other scriptural process. Still, the holy name acts. And not only does the name uproot sin completely, one realizes the Lord's qualities, beauty, power, and sweetness. Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila, all these things will be revealed. When? It's up to the holy name. Whenever holy name wants to reveal us all these things, it will reveal us. It may not happen immediately. So in that case, the devotees ask. So in India, everyone is chanting Lord's holy names, knowingly or unknowingly, because in every house, their children name is Rama, Krishna, Vam, like that, Sridhara. So like that, somehow or other, the names are connected to Lord's name. At least in the previous generation, it is used. It is the normal, natural. In the current generation, people become passionate and they name their children Pinku, Rinku, Tinku, etc. But in the previous generation, the name has direct connection with the Lord's name. Everyone would have their children name at least some part of Lord in connection to Lord's names only. Madhava, Hari, Krishna, Gopal. These are the normal names in the villages. Even not only Lord's name directly, even Lord's devotees' names also are very famous. Like people would be having the names like Arjun and um, we don't see so many names of Hanuman, not many, but Arjun is quite famous, and some people will have Bhima, Nakul,
Prahlad.
yeah, Nakul, Prahlad. So the devotee names also there. So either Lord's name or devotee's name, even if one chants, so one's purification will be taking place. So, so in one sense, in India, everyone is chanting names. So what kind of disposition we should have for everyone? They are all prospective candidates of devotees. The holy name can act upon them anytime. But in the notes, if you see, yeah, if one chanting the holy names unknowingly, but if one criticizes devotees or bhakti knowingly, then the holy name does not show any effect upon them. People may say many times, people say that these devotees, they are all parasites in the society. These people have any work to do. They simply shout, they chant Hari 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 and dance on the streets like madman. If somebody out of jealousy or out of envy, out of any other ill motive, they criticize devotees or the process of bhakti, even though they may be chanting Lord's names in the form of calling their children name or this that, hearing some songs or attending some music concerts, etc., dance performances, etc., etc., the holy name may withdraw its mercy in such cases. There are two things in this entire episode. One thing, doing sin is not a problem, but doing aparad is a big problem. So one should be careful about it. Whether one may be devotee or non-devotee, if one is intentionally, willingly committing the offense against the process of bhakti or against devotees, that will withdraw the mercy of Bhakti Devi upon such people, whether one may be devotee or non-devotee. We should always be careful against devotees, knowing that they are devotees, and then doing ninda of such people, of devotees, and are the process of bhakti. That will remove our bhakti. We should be careful about it.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Ah.
Prabhuji, like here we saw that, means to the extent I felt that every child's name should be kept by the Lord's name because it has so much potential. But one doubt I have, like many times we scold children or we really get angry and we say something calling out their name. So if some we keep the name like of the Lord, and if we like that get angry on the child or say something, will that also have the negative effect because that is the Lord's name?
Again, you are not getting the same thing. See, Ajamila also might have troubled some devotees, might have cheated some devotees, might have beaten some devotees. But he did not do them, he do it considering them to be devotees. For him, he is a traveler, he is a passenger, he is a person who has money. For Ajamila, money is most important thing. Whoever the person may be immaterial. That's why I'm saying Ajamila did not do aparad. He did sin.
No, Prabhuji, I'm saying that
No,
वो
no, same
नारायण
way, same way, same way. See, when parents punish their children, they are not punishing their children not out of sadism. They are punishing their children out of concern and out of love for their children, for the betterment of their children only they are doing. Okay, that is not a aparad. But if the child is a becoming devotee, if the parents punish the child, that becomes aparad.
Oh, sure.
Matlab, the punishment means that punishment is not to correct the child. See, the punishment is if one is becoming devotee. So, for he is becoming devotee, if they punish, that will be aparad.
Even if it is for the betterment of the child, out of that
See,
concern.
again, why same question you are asking, Mataji? The parents, normal parents outside, for example, like for people like me who want to become brahmacharis, the parents cry. That is natural. But some parents may want to do something really bad, punishing or something like that. That will be called as offense.
Okay.
And for example, I mean, I'm just giving. It may be true, may not be true. I'm not. I also don't know exactly. Like some parents, they say that okay, some of their children are becoming brahmacharis, and they unnecessarily. I mean, they criticize the other devotees because of whom their son became brahmachari. If in the future, if they don't beg forgiveness, if they don't realize that what kind of grave mistake they have made, then that offense will never allow them come close to Bhakti Devi. But if they realize one fine day, if they beg forgiveness and if they practice bhakti, then that will be nullified. It will be taken off.
Okay.
The intention plays a vital role, which one should be careful about it.
And maybe that if the
That you
devotee
can see
parent.
in the previous notes. That previous verse notes may like this. All these details are also there.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Just Hare Krishna, just like
Nice, Mataji.
Sachi Mata
Ah,
and Advaita Acharya in Chaitanya
ah,
Charitamrita.
same thing, same thing. When
Yes.
Vishwarupa became sannyasi, Sachimata for some time. It is not a actually Sachimata what she did. It was not a pre-planned thing. It was not out of intention. It is out of her motherly affection. But we cannot say it is offense. But it happened. So because of him, I lost my son. Something like that. She did not even speak out. She thought within her mind only. Mahaprabhu told, "Yeah, you please beg forgiveness. Otherwise, it will remain. Bhakti Devi will not show her complete mercy." So Sachimata took the right opportunity and she touched the feet of Srila, what is this? Advaitacharya. Then done. It is clear. It was not a premeditated, it was not a intentional. Still, Lord is so careful that one should not have even such kind of things also. Then what to speak of the intentional, premeditated and planned activities. So like that. So one other example we can see in the fourth canto Bhagavatam. Suruchi. Suruchi chastised heavily Dhruva. Even though afterwards when Dhruva came back, Suruchi showed her complete love and affection toward Dhruva. It is not that she retained that ill intentions against Dhruva. Afterwards, Dhruva showed respect towards Suruchi and Suruchi also showed love for Dhruva. The things went normally. Afterwards, Dhruva only became the king. Suruchi did not object afterwards. But she made a mistake for which she went through punishment. So one may say that then what? Yeah. For in that lifetime, she went through punishment. She might have taken another lifetime in which With pure heart, she might have practiced bhakti and she might have gone back to Godhead. Uh, at the most, he is the family member of Dhruva Maharaj. But there was a mistake done for which there will be a penal, this nominal punishment, nominal result will be there. So she went through for that. So it happens. So when we make mistake, we should be considerate about that. We should beg forgiveness, and we should also ready to go through the repercussions. Then it is completely nullified, and we are ready to embrace Ananya Bhakti, and then Ananya Bhakti will embrace us and take us back home, back to Godhead. Similarly. It's actually very difficult because we are not like static, we are dynamic. Our mindset also keeps changing. So it is not that okay, once we have switched on to binary like 0 or 1, so we can't remain in that one position always. So our mind and our thought process keep flickering. So it's like a very hard struggle to control our intentions, hard struggle to control our behavior, hard struggle to keep the same tempo always. So in one sense, the practice of bhakti is walking on the razor edge. We may say that bhakti is very simple and bhakti is very easy and you can go back to Varad. Yes, it is simple for simple, it is easy for completely surrendered. But people who have difficulties to accept its simplicity, they will walk through a difficult path. Sorry, I'm giving big lectures today. So, yeah. You are able to follow Hare Krishna, other devotees?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
So, here, this verse can also have another meaning. So, one may question this. But how can grave sins, which are destroyed only by great austerities and great vows, be destroyed by casual chanting of the name? Oh, my dear son, Sridhar, come here. My dear son, Madhav, come here. Just by casually calling one's son, by the way, chanting Lord's holy name can destroy great sins, which are destroyed by performing only 12 years vows, 12-year vratas. We gave an example last week. Arjuna, when he entered for a good cause only into the inner chambers of Draupadi when she was with Yudhishthira Maharaj, so he had to go for 12 years vanvas. He went. That was according to Varnashram Dharma. That was the rule they set up, and that was the rule they wanted to follow. They followed. Arjuna followed. So such kind of for anything, there in Vedic literatures, either you perform yajna or you go for 12 years vrata, 12 years vow. For 12 years, I will not eat this, I will not do this, I will not live in this particular comfortable situation. Yeah, austerity for 12 years. So that is a normal recommendation. तो ये लोग 12 साल इतना कष्ट कर रहे हैं, आप तो कैजुअल चैंटिंग ऑफ लॉर्ड्स नेम सब कुछ निकलते हैं. So how can you say that? It is it is too much partiality. One may ask, one may question that. Then Vishnuta say that the name indicates the power of the Lord having great fame. Abhinnatvam namanamine. The name of the Lord is non-different from the Lord. Whatever power the Lord has, the name also has the same power. Does Lord have the power to purify one, or does the Lord have the power to take even a sinful person back home, back to Godhead? If Lord had the power, Lord's holy name also had the power. We have no right to say that, yeah, Lord had the power, I will accept it, but I'm not sure Lord's holy name whether it has the power or not. Shastra says, Abhinnatvam nama namine. There is no difference between the Lord and his name. Even though that name is given to us or our family members. The name removes great sin because it is the name of the most powerful Supreme Lord. The holy name has this potency because the holy name is the name of the Lord who has unlimited potency. Whatever potency Lord has, the same potency is there in the name of the Lord. Namna Makari Bahuda Nijasarva Shaktis. All the Shakti of the Supreme Lord are there in the name of the Lord also. So, like that. So, one should not have any doubt on the potency of holy name because the name and the Lord are non different. Whatever potency we may say that, okay, Lord is powerful, Ananta, this, that. Yeah, holy name is also same. Like that. Okay, Hare Krishna. Even when I was making notes, when I read through this point, yeah, matlab, we may not remember this always. We may not think about this always. But if we are convinced about this, at least theoretically, yeah, we should not have any doubt whether bhakti works or not. Like that. Okay, we'll go move on. नैकान्तिकं तद्धिकृतेऽपि निष्कृते
नैकान्तिकं तद्धिकृतेऽपि निष्कृते
मनः पुनर्धावति चेदसत्पथे
मना पुनर्धावति चेदसत्पथे
तत्कर्म निर्हारमवीप्सितां हरेः
तत्कर्म निर्हारमभीप्सितां हरे
गुणानुवादा खलु सत्त्वभावनः
गुणानुवादा खलु सत्त्वभावनः. The ritualistic ceremonies of atonement recommended in the religious scriptures are insufficient to cleanse the heart absolutely, because after atonement, one's mind again runs towards material activities. Consequently, for one who wants liberation from the fruitive reactions of material activities, the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra or glorification of the name, fame, and pastimes of the Lord is recommended as the most perfect process of atonement, because such chanting eradicates the dirt from one's heart completely.
So here the Vishnu Dutas are saying that since even after atonement the mind again pursues material enjoyment, for people desiring complete destruction of material desires, continuous chanting of the qualities of the Lord is the only means of purification. So they are also very careful. It is not that they are saying that one should only chant once. Once chanting is enough. They Vaishnavas say that no. One should chant continuously. That is recommended. The holy name has the potency to show its ability even if one chants once also. That doesn't mean that one should only chant once. The recommended process is one should continuously chant. Gunanuvada kalusatva bhavana. Guna anuvada khalu sattva bhavana. So sattva bhavana for the purpose of purification, one should continuously chant the holy name of the Lord. Here guna anuvada. So guna means the glories of the Supreme Lord. The wonderful qualities of the Supreme Lord should be chanted continuously. So we can say bhajans, kirtan, bhajan should be done continuously. Performance of atonement for 12 years is considered inferior to chanting the name. Since the mind pursues the path of sin after performing atonement, which does not completely purify the mind. For persons desiring complete destruction of karmas, constant chanting of the name and qualities after hearing them for someone is real purification of one's existence because it destroys all desires. So now this is the apt time to discuss this. Year ending, the new year is going to start. So people make so many resolutions on 31st December, and they say that so 2023 I made so many mistakes and so many problems were there, all these things. So 2024 I will abstain from this. I will not do this. I will not do this. Or I will do this. I'll go for jogging every day without fail. I'll go for walking without fail every day. I will not eat any spicy food. I will not eat any fried food. Like that, one may take according to one's physical condition at that time. One may take so many resolutions. Yeah, one will also follow for 2 3 days. Then when a right opportunity comes, one forgets. Again, one does. So in this material world, this one may, because one go through problem, so one may fast for some days, then again one forgets that no, there is no problem, again one starts doing it. So that is the general condition, general atmosphere around us. But in the case of holy name, if one continuously chanting holy names, guna anuvada, huh, with the intention of serving the Lord, reawakening Krishna Prema for the Supreme Lord, with the intention of purifying one's own conditioned mentality, and in one's performance there is no lax, there is sincerity and there is complete dedication, then the purification will manifest in due course of time without fail. But if there is laxity and also if there are continuous performance of offenses, the holy name will take a lot of time to show its results. It will not happen immediately. So whenever anu comes, the word anu comes, even in Uttama Bhakti definition also we see na अन्याभिलाषा शून्यम ज्ञान कर्मादि अनावृतम अनुकूलेन कृष्ण अनुशीलनम, not just शीलनम, अनुशीलनम. Anushilana means continuous engagement, not once or twice, continuous engagement. And that engagement is also anukul bhavana se, not in a pratikul bhavana. That will purify us, and that will make us eligible to go back to God. No laxity and no aparad. These are the two precautions one should have. And the two positive things are continuous with good intentions. So like that. So now one may question. So why do you criticize committing sin again after doing atonements? अभी पाप किया, अटोनमेंट किया, बाद में दूसरा और पाप किया, क्या करे अभी? 3 modes are so powerful, one will tend to do it. So why are you criticizing this again and again? You say that karma does not purify one, karma does not purify one, bhakti only purifies one, bhakti only purifies one. We can explain that this is similar to being without any teeth, since it is caused simply by remaining impressions, just as you explain about commission of sin after chanting. अभी जो आप बोल रहे हैं होल नेम के पीछे, होल नेम के बारे में, अभी ये होल नेम चांटिंग किया बाद में सिन कर रहे हैं, उसका मतलब ये स्नेक बाइट जैसे, तो व्हाई नॉट इज इन कर्मा? कर्मा एक पाप किया था, रिचुअल किया था, कर्मयोग कर रहे हैं, बट कभी कभी होता है जाने अनजाने में कुछ पाप होता है. Why can't you consider that to be, that also to be like biting of a toothless snake? Why only in the case of bhakti to perform sin, that is the biting of a toothless snake, and why not in the case of karma? One a question. The answer is, yeah, you are mistaken. Our explanation of the name is valid because of the statements that the name destroys all sins along with their desires. It is not simply an imagination or exaggeration. But how can you make your claim since they in relation to karma? Because there are no statements in the scriptures concerning atonement which claim destruction of all desires, and even in the exaggerated claims of karmakanda, one does not hear of decrease of sinful desire. This was stated previously only. In the case of karma, no Vedic statements say that अभी आप पाप करो और देन आप अटोनमेंट करो, उसके बाद जितना भी पाप करेगा उसका कुछ हिस्सा नहीं होगा. Like that, there are no Vedic statements. The Vedic statement always say that Whenever you do a sin, if you want to avoid the repercussions, atone for it. But Vedas never say that even though if you do sins afterwards, there is no need to do any more atonement. Like that, statements are nowhere it is there. But in the case of Bhakti, Lord Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter, what was the verse? Anyone remembers? 9th chapter, text number 31, 32.
Yapi Sujasa. Sadhureva Sabantavya.
First, how it starts?
अपि चेत्सु दुराचारो भजते माम् अनन्य.
The important thing is that bhajate mam ananya bhak. He is performing ananya bhakti, even though he may be doing accidentally or knowingly or unknowingly the sin, but he is still continuing the process of bhakti with repentance and remorse and with the intention to purify oneself. This person should not be criticized.
व्हिडिओ बघू शकतो याच्यात पण नाही बघू शकतो.
Hare Krishna. So Lord Krishna himself is saying about bhakti, but there are no such statements in relation to karma. That's why we are saying it again and again. So like that Acharya say. We are not exaggerating in relation to bhakti. It says so, Shastra says so, Bhagavan himself says so in Bhagavad Gita. So we are simply repeating it. So you show in relation to karma, if such kind of statements are there, we'll accept. Why do we criticize karma again and again? So like that Acharyas are saying. Atainam maapanayata.
Hare Krishna. Atainam mapanayata.
Kruta sheshaga nishkritam.
Ita sheshaga nishkritam.
Yad asau bhagavan nama.
Yat asau bhagavan nama.
Mriyamanah samagrahit.
Priyamana samagrahet. Translation. At the time of death, this Ajamila helplessly and very loudly chanted the holy name of Lord Narayana. That chanting alone has already freed him from the reactions of all sinful life. Therefore, O servants of Yamraja, do not try to take him to your master for punishment in hellish conditions.
Yeah. Therefore, do not take Ajamila, who has performed unlimited atonement. You can't even count how much atonement he has performed. Because of being sinless, he has perfectly chanted the name of the Lord while dying. So, since the time of birth of Ajamila's son, he was chanting the holy name of the Lord. He was purified. He was not only purified for this lifetime, he was purified for 1 crore lifetimes. So he is not entitled to be taken to Yamaloka. See, even Vishnu is also saying the same thing. He is not supposed to be taken to Yamaloka. They are not saying that, okay, he is qualified to take to spiritual world. So it is there. We should be careful about it. We should understand these intricacies. Vishnu is saying that he is not supposed to come to Yamaloka. You say that because he has performed adharma and he has not performed atonement. And Vishnu says that, yeah, yes, certainly he performed sinful activities, but he had atoned for all of them. And even if he continues to perform so many more sinful activities also, he is not supposed to be taken to hell. Because by chanting one name of the Lord, what to speak of chanting many names, he already atoned for all unlimited sins. So he is not a candidate supposed to be taken to Yamaloka. Leave him here. Whether he is qualified to go back to spiritual world or whether he is qualified to go back to Swarga 100 is a second thing. But at least he is not supposed to be taken to Yamaloka. He is not supposed to be given the punishment in Yamaloka. So this much one should be clear. So the same thing we can apply for all Indians or anybody also. If a person is not practicing bhakti, but knowingly or unknowingly chanting Lord's holy name while chanting the names of their sons, family members, friends, and relatives, but if in his entire life, his or her entire life, if they have not committed any offense towards any other devotee, they will not be taken to hell. Like that, we can see. I don't know. I'm just extrapolating it. Whether we should take it like this or not, I'm not sure. But at least from this verse, we can say one thing: if there is no offense, knowingly or unknowingly, if somebody has done some sinful activities and chanted the Lord's holy names, one should not be taken to hell.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji.
Prabhuji, this is only in case of Vaishnava aparadhs or aparadh against devotees, or even there are other types of aparadhs like seva aparadh, jiva aparadh.
No,
Even
any aparadha connected to the Supreme Lord's bhakti and other paraphernalia.
okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Not only Vaishnava aparadha, even Nama aparadha, Vaishnava aparadha, DT, Archana aparadha, Seva aparadha, Dama aparadha, all these things we can consider. Any aparadha will stop the growth of bhakti, will hide one's bhakti.
Prabhuji, this is such a tall order because in Nama Aparadh, the last offense, like being inattentive, this is this is such a common aparadh.
See,
one will never progress in
that's what
bhakti.
in the previous verse I told, no? It is not that one will not perform any offense. We all perform offenses, but there are two things. First one is beg forgiveness, feel repentance, and continue to practice bhakti.
So even for the for offenses like
there are two case studies. We are discussing about a neutral case study. For people in general, that is a neutral case study. They will not go this side. The left side they will not go. They will not go towards hell. But they will remain where they are. If one wants to go to the right side, one should take the corrective measure. You are getting, Mataji?
So as long as we are aware that we are making mistakes in being inattentive by chanting, or the 10th offense basically. So as long as we are aware and we beg forgiveness,
see,
it can
at the initial step, when we are aware, we should beg forgiveness and take it seriously. That is expected. But one step higher is whether we are aware or not. In spite of that, beg forgiveness and take it seriously and move ahead. This is the best thing one can do. Sorry, I myself not doing, but I'm just stating because I'm just repeating what I've heard. In spite of not being aware, one should say that I made a mistake. Even in spite of not doing any mistake, one should say that I made a mistake and beg forgiveness, and then move on.
Okay. Thank you.
So, see, here two things are there. No, don't get confused. There is a neutral case study. There is a progressive case study. So, what this verse is talking about is a neutral case study. So, from the neutral case study point of view, I'm saying this. In the next chapter, also similar instruction Yamaraj gives to Yamadhutas. If one stands the Lord's soul name, they should not be brought to Yamaloka, knowingly or unknowingly. that doesn't mean that because they have chanted Lord's holy name knowingly or unknowingly, and they will be taken to Vaikuntha. Not like that. In order to go to Vaikuntha, one need to gain qualification. There is nothing. There is no second way. Yes, Mataji.
Shivji, I didn't get what you're talking about neutral and progressive case study. That is one thing.
See what is this? Here you see the verse. Therefore, do not take Ajamila, who has performed unlimited atonement, because of being sinless. He has perfectly chanted the name of the Lord while dying. See, what is Ajamila? We have read through in the previous chapter completely. The same thing we can see around us, the people in general of this world, also performing so many sinful activities. And also they are chanting the Lord's holy name, calling their sons, their friends and family members. Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, you tell me. Now the instruction of Vishnutas to Yamadutas is Ajamila should not be taken to Yamaloka. Then what about us people around us? They should be taken to Yamaloka or not?
No.
Huh?
They are chanting their son's name, the name of the Lord, like that.
Mm.
So they have already attained for their sins. If we apply the same thing, Jamila's
Yeah.
case. So then they are sinless, and then once the sins are not there, why they should be taken?
Okay. So that's why I'm saying this is a neutral case study. Means they will not be taken towards left, but that doesn't mean that they will be because they chanted Lord's name once. So now they can go to spiritual world. Not that they are neutral because they'll remain where they are. They'll not go to left. They'll remain there.
Oh, so they will be again coming here only in the Mrityu like that.
Again, not again coming. They'll remain here only. They may become animal. They may become dog, or they may become human being, or they may this that so many things. They'll roam here only. They don't go anywhere.
Oh, okay, okay.
If they have done some piety, they may go to heaven and come back again here. But if they have committed an aparada and also chanted Lord's holy name, the aparada does not allow the potency of holy name to be displayed. Even though after doing one aparada, even though one has chanted Lord's names many times, if they don't beg forgiveness, they'll be taken to hell. They'll be given same punishment, which is supposed to be given to for their sin.
Understood. But in that case, Prabhuji, being a devotee is like it's the same thing what you were talking some time back, walking on the razor sharp, like that. Because being a non-devotee and committing some sin, and maybe luckily if the child's name is there or something like that, still you have chance to become free from the sin. But being a devotee, if you commit something, then it becomes aparadha, and then in spite of you maybe trying hard as your sadhana, but still that will not have effect because holy name will not show its effect because one has performed some aparadha.
See, again, you are asking the same question. I told for a progressive case study, we do commit, but the immediate thing is that one need to beg forgiveness and take the rectifying measurements. 1 second, just 1 minute. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. Even if Prabhuji some aparadh happens unintentionally, still it will have the same effect as some aparadh being committed intentionally.
That's what just now I told now when Mataji asked. First condition is okay, we know we made a mistake, beg forgiveness and do the needful. The much better than that is that we don't know whether we have done or not, still beg forgiveness and do the needful.
Okay. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Because of this, do not take Ajamila. He has done unlimited atonements. This means at the time of naming his son Narayana, From his first chanting, he accomplished all atonements. This was also done without any offenses to the name. See here, this was also done without any offenses to the name either previously or in this life. Because he was sinless, while dying he chanted the name. If he had sin, how could he chant the name while dying? No, Vishnu just say he has chanted Lord's holy name without any offense. उन्होंने कब जीवन में कभी कुछ अपराध किया नहीं. And second thing, when he first chanted the name of his son Narayana, all his offenses, not offenses, all his sins are destroyed. And now at the time of death, he chanted his son's name. If at all he had some sin, how could he chant the name of his son, the name of the Lord, even though it is his son? He could have remembered other sons' names only, na? Why he remembered Narayana only? He had already 9 more sons. उनका नाम कुछ तो रहेगा होगा, पिंकू पिंकू टिंकू, तो उनको क्यों नहीं रिमेम्बर किया? That means for you externally he may be doing so many sins, but within the core of his heart is free of all sins. That's why he is able to remember Narayana's name at the time of death. Or he could have not even remembered any son's name only at the time of death. Why Narayana? Why not even Narayana also? That would have been the best condition, neutral condition. Why did he remember the name of the Lord Narayana? Because he is sinless. It is said in the Gita, Esham tu antagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dandamoha nirmukta bhajate mam drudavrata. But those whose sins have been destroyed by pious acts means atonements, being free of ignorance, arising from the duality by worshipping me, then worship me with determination. Whether the atonement is either by karmakanda atonements or by chanting Lord's holy name. So when we chant Lord's holy names, it is acting as atonement also, it is also acting as bhakti. So both the things are happening. So as a result of that, at one point of time, one becomes determined to practice bhakti alone with complete sincerity. So it is like that. That is what happened in the case of Ajamila. So Ajamila performed sins and he chanted Lord's holy name. So chanting the Lord's holy name did two things: purified him of all sins and developed attraction for Lord's holy name. So externally it may appear to be attraction for Ajamila's son only. But from Vishnuduta's point of view, now he is chanting. Apparently, externally it may seem to be the chanting of his son's name, but because he chanted Lord's holy name till now, he performed so much bhakti till now, at the time of death, he only remembered Lord Narayana. Because it is Lord's name, he remembered his son's name, son. So like that. Anta kale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram ya pratisa madbhavam yanti nasti atra samshaya. This is well-known verse. Thus, by the appearance of the name or its non-appearance when dying, one can infer the absence of offenses to the name or the presence of offenses to the name. The holy name will appear at the time of death if one has not performed any offense to name. The holy name does not appear if one has performed any offense to the name. This is a general rule. It is not that so a devotee lived his entire life, a life of bhakti, and he has not done any offenses. But because of some psychological conditions, he did not remember Lord's name at the time of death. So that means he is full of offenses. Not like that. It is to help us understand ourselves, not to judge others. If I am not able to remember Lord's name at the time of death, that means I have also performed some offenses. That's why the offense is not allowing me to remember the name of the Lord at the time of death. This is to self-examination, not to examine others. So it is like that. So I am just repeating whatever I have heard from senior devotees, especially from His Grace Radhika Vallabh Prabhu, who taught us all these things during our Bhakti Vaibhav in Golden Equilage Universe studying Bhagavatam. I'm just I went through notes and just repeating them as they are. I myself struggling doing all these things. So we need to help each other. We need to pray for each other. To be careful, especially while living with the devotees and dealing with the devotees. So because See, one may it appears so much fear invoking thing. The reason is it is not about invoking fear. It is about preparing us to the Vaikuntha atmosphere. So if we see like that, it will give us positive hope. Vaikuntha atmosphere is supposed to be free of all such kind of lower things. If at all we are desiring to go there, we should be ready to live in that kind of atmosphere. That can be possible only when we practice that here, when we take training here, so like that. But unfortunately, in this world since childhood, we learned how to see mistakes in others. We have been trained to see mistakes in others. We have been trained to show others less than us. This conditioning has deeply ingrained within us. In general, I'm saying not that everyone, but mostly. So, but it is very difficult. It is the biggest thing to come out of this kind of conditioning. Like that. Hare Krishna. Devotees are okay. It is becoming too heavy.
No, Prabhuji, thank you for explaining all these things.
It is giving a lot of insights. Because always Vaishnava
Yes.
Prag is always stressed, but still, it means, as you said, our mentality is like that, that we tend to see the wrong points of others faster than appreciating the good things. Like, we need to train our mind.
One common thing I observe, people say that I'm not like that. I'm not like that. I'm not like this. I'm not like this. This is the problem with us in India, especially people like me.
Actually, Prabhuji, like I just remembered, like when in TTC, when you have to give opinion to the others, they never say the wrong points. They say the point for improvement, and that also it is been trained like it should be sandwiched. Like you should say good things first, then the point of improvement, and then again end with the good things. So that
Yes.
is the way of expressing things. It is that training is given, but I think that we should also not only there or while giving opinion to somebody, but at all times we should try to
Even it
practice
is there in nonviolent communication seminar also they say that we should only state the observation. We should not give judgmental remarks.
yeah.
But that is true. These are all there. We may be, when we are conscious about it, we may do it. We may follow this principle. But at least 75% of our dealings generally happens unconsciously. Maybe with when people become more and more conscious and people who are matured, who are purified, they may be 70% conscious and 25% may not be conscious. But in general, in a neophyte state and all, for 75% we are casual in our behavior. Maybe 25% we may be cautious. Then that should become other way and it should become 100% actually.
And our false ego also plays a lot of role now, Prabhuji, because like when we feel that yes, I am good in this, and then somebody else is not being so good in that, immediately catches our attention. Oh, this person is not able to do this, because you feel that yes, I am able to do this. So that false ego also needs to be
See,
subdued in life.
Vaikuntha atmosphere, it is said in the third canto. Third canto, 15th chapter. You all wrote the exam also. If you remember, you may remember. If you don't remember, also not a problem. Even I also don't remember, but I just context I do remember. It is said there that in the 15th chapter, when Brahmaji is describing the Vaikuntha, it is talking about Brungadipe Diva. So there was one verse, I don't remember exactly. It says that Paravatanya Bruta Sarsa Chakravaka Datyuha Hamsa Sukatittiri Barhinamhi Kolahalo Viramate Shiramatra Muchaya Brungadipe Harikatam Iva Gayamane. So in Vaikuntha, all these wonderful birds are there. They all can sing very nicely with wonderful music, beautiful to hear. But when Brungadipe, a Brunga, a bumblebee, Harikatam Ivagayamane, when bumblebee is buzzing, and its buzzing appears to be like Harikata, and all other wonderful singing birds, they stop singing. They show respect to Brunga, and they listen to the buzzing sound of the Brunga. This is Vaikuntha atmosphere. And there was one more. It says that Mandara Kunda Mukkurubotpala Champakarna Punnaga Naga Bakulambula Parijata. So all these are wonderful flowers. In the market, we search for them and we purchase them, especially festivals and other days also normal flowers we may purchase. Especially festivals, we want to have all these wonderful flowers for decorating the Lordship very nicely. But they say, Bhagavatam says that in Vaikuntha, Ganderjite Tulasika Baranena Tasya Yasmin Tapa Sumanaso Bahumanayanti. Tulasi is not a flower. It is not as fragrant as all these wonderful flowers. It is not as soft as all these wonderful flowers. It is not as beautiful as all these wonderful flowers. But still, they are praying to Tulasi that what kind of austerities you have performed. That Lord keeps on his head, not head, on his neck as a garland. And Lord keeps you on his lotus feet. And you are constantly in touch with the Lord and you emit the aroma of Lord's lotus feet or Lord's transcendental body. Please tell us what kind of austerities you have performed so that we will also perform following in footsteps, and as a result of that, Lord may accept us the way He is accepting you. And this is Vaikuntha mentality. So like that, many are there, but these two are striking examples. When we come to the same platform, then we are ready to go there. So instead of being Hamsa, Shuka, Titteri, Paravata, Chakravaka, we should respect the buzzing sound of bumblebee. Instead of being Champaka, Arnava, Kunda, Utpala, Kamala, one should respect Tulsi. That is very fundamental. It is very difficult. This is tall order, not the previous one, not about Hafiz and all. As Mataji said some time back. It is very difficult because, as you rightly said, we all have our own egos, our own superiority complexes. It is very difficult to tackle it. But there is a hope, somehow or other, knowingly or unknowingly, whenever we do something, take forgiveness, become serious, and move ahead. Give up.
Yes, Prabhuji, and this has removed all the doubts, means whatever lurking doubts were there, like the statement that because he was sinless at the time of death, holy name came on his name in whatever form, but it came. And if one will have offenses or anything, or doubts, the holy name will not manifest, and that is the final
He
test.
could have either he could have remembered his so-called wife, he could have remembered other sons, or he could have
Yeah.
remembered his wealth, fame, whatever money accumulated is there in the almara.
Actually, other 9 sons must be elder, no? Means, so they could have been of some help in problems situation. What the 1-year-old child will do, but still he called his name. It does have a lot of implications and gives a lot of insights.
So like that. Devotees are feeling bored that we are is already more than 1.5 hour. I mean, we'll try to end it early. We'll continue. There is a program also going on at director's home. We'll not have any break. Other devotees, I'm not sure whether all of you are following it or not. Today only some serious conversation is happening.
Following very
Prabhuji, we are
nicely.
understanding. Yes, Prabhuji.
So actually, we need each
for
other's prayers and blessings. Otherwise, not we cannot say blessings, but each other's prayers and good wishes to remain
Yes.
alert, attentive, and serious. Never endeavor. There is no
Yes,
other
Prabhuji.
hope.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the revision of that Mandara Tulsi, that Champa, that shloka which you taught us, third canto.
Yeah.
That's very apt actually. We try as devotees to do practice that. To put somebody else in front, like rather than we moving ahead. That is why now.
When somebody is famous, it is natural that we become humble in front of them. When somebody is equal to us, who is apparently junior to us, very difficult.
Yes, Prabhuji.
With respect to superiors or with respect to some special people, it is natural. There is no problem. But it should be with everyone. For a Hamsa or for a Kokila, what is Brunga? For a lotus, what is Tulasi? When you treat them on the category of flowers, what kind of appearance, smoothness, softness, texture, all these things Tulasi has.
Yes.
No, it is nowhere incomparable. But Tulsi garland is there from morning to late night on the neck of the Supreme Lord and the lotus feet of Supreme Lord, not the flower garlands. Okay, we'll do couple of verses more. At least we'll do till 19th verse. This section will be over. The remaining section we can do next week. Sanketyam parihasyam va
Sanketyam parihasyam va
sobham helanameva va
Sobham helanameva va
Vaikuntanama grahanam
Vaikunthanama grahanam
Asheshagaharam viduhu.
Asheshagha haram vidu. One who chants the holy name of the Lord is immediately freed from the reactions of unlimited sins, even if he chants indirectly to indicate something else, jokingly, for musical entertainment, or even neglectfully. This is accepted by all the learned scholars of the scriptures.
Chanting the name of the Lord while indicating someone else or while joking in a friendly manner. Sanketyam, indicating something if you chant Lord's holy name. So it's like what we can say. For example, now I have the temple is getting opened. So Bhagavan Ram Ji ka naya Adbhut Mandir ban raha hai. You might have visited Adbhut Mandir, Ram Mandir. and then you go to your village, and near some village, some you're traveling, you may see some temple, normal temple, and you say that, yeah, this is similar to Ayodhya's Ram Mandir. So Sanketyam, something like that. Parihasyam, in a while joking in a friendly manner. Or chanting Lord's name in order to fill up space while chanting verses, or chanting with neglect destroys unlimited sins and desires. So here Ajamila chanted the name of Lord, indicating to his son name only. It is not a direct utterance of Lord's name. So what to speak of uttering of one's children name? Even other conditions also indicating something else. If you say something in relation to Lord, or another joking as a gap filler of the shloka, or a poem, or a song, or without any respect, even if you say Lord's name, that is also fine. That is also considered Lord's holy name, and it'll do its own job like that. What type of chanting destroys all sins? This is expressed by showing how even lesser degree of quality in chanting still have effect. Sankitya means chanting while referring to someone like a son. Parihasya means while calling jokingly, but with affection, not with criticism. The parihasam is not a criticism. It is a joking, a friendly joking, not criticizing someone. Oh, famous one, your fame is like that of Krishna, since you can save me. So this is like in this there is no criticism. It's like a joking way, but still in a gentlemanly way. Stoba means chant the name in order to provide proper meter during a discourse or song. So when you are composing a song, so in between you put the Lord's names. So it is to have proper meter. You might have put it. Still okay, no problem. Helanam means that the name of the Lord is uttered with disregard, without attention. So name came, but it is not meant for Lord. The example is given. Hela is similarly in a phrases like Krishna lifted Govardhan casually. Helaya. Lord Krishna lifted Govardhan with effortlessly. Kuch hai nahi. So somebody may say that, hey, you have strength like Hanumanji. You have talent like Krishna. Somebody may say they are not saying, they are not remembering Krishna at that time, but they said just to as a comparison, as a upman, they are saying that is also okay, like that. That is called Helaya. Others cannot utter the name so much as those who utter the name of the Lord Krishna casually while eating, playing, or sleeping. This chanting is also without criticism or disrespect. Here, how come some people are able to use Krishna's names or Rama's names as a gap filler, as a comparison, as joking, as to indicate somebody something else? They could have used anything else in this world. Why only Lord's names? That itself indicates that their heart is somewhat pure. That's why they're able to use Lord's names as a gap filler in poetry, or as a upama, as an example. That itself is an indication of one's position, one's current status of mentality, like that. This chanting is also without criticism or disrespect. They don't have any conscious way of criticizing the Lord or disrespecting the Lord. They have simply used Lord's names as a casual conversation. This is like a neutral case study. They neither have great respect nor they have any disrespect, any even minute disrespect also. It is a neutral condition, but still they are using Lord's name, not using something else. That shows their heart is somewhat pure. So it is like that. Anyone who fails to immediately leave the place where he hears criticism of the Supreme Lord or his faithful devotee will certainly fall down bereft of one's pious credit. This is from again, okay, the chapter is there. Though it is from 10th canto, the same case study we can connect to Mother Sati. Sati also says something similar. Daksha is speaking ill about Lord Shiva, and other people are not saying anything about it. And Sati says, I can't tolerate. I want to kill him, but he is my father. I can't kill him, so I'll kill myself so that I lose my connection with Daksha. So she burnt herself. So first thing, leave from that place. If you can't leave, उसको समझाने का, one can't do. One should do this. What Sati did, something like that. Thus, criticism and disrespect such as Vena saying, what is the use of Lord Vishnu, is filled with fault and thus does not have effect. Asheshaga Haram means that not only all sins but also all desires are destroyed by chanting. So Vena also chanted Lord's name. Why all you people are worshipping Vishnu? Vishnu is there in my body, you worship me. So Vishnu is not the God, I am the God, like that. Vena said, that is out of sheer disrespect, out of disrespect and disregard. So that kind of chanting of Lord Vishnu's name will not have any potency, will not have any effect. So chanting Lord's name as a neutral case or a positive case will have effect, not as a negative case. So Ajamila is a neutral case, and people, the examples given here are, they are all also neutral case studies. But the negative case studies will never show any positive impact. Like that. पतितः स्खलितो भग्नः
पतितः स्खलितो भग्नः
संदष्टस्तप आहत
सन्दष्टस्तप्त आहतः
हरिरिति अवशेनाः
हरिरिति अवशेनाः
पुमान्नार्हति यातनः.
पुमान्नार्हति यातनः. If one chants the holy name of Hari and then dies because of an accidental misfortune, such as falling from the top of house, slipping and suffering broken bones while traveling on the road, being bitten by a serpent, being afflicted with pain and high fever, or being injured by a weapon, one is immediately absolved from having to enter hellish life, even though he is sinful.
These are another neutral case studies. These are emergency conditions. In emergency, one does not have any ill feelings toward the Lord. At the same time, one may not have any positive feelings of the Lord also. Because of one's upbringing, one's nature, one's purification state of the heart, one remembers the Lord's name. A person who chants the name of the Lord while falling from a cliff, stumbling on the road, receiving injury in his body, being bitten by snakes, being burnt with fever, or being attacked with sticks will not suffer hellish punishment. In our case, we may see this. When we have suddenly something happens, we remember our mother's name. Generally, we immediately shout mother's name, especially the small kids and even grown-up kids also. They say mother's name because there is a lot of bonding with mother. There is a lot of shelter in mother's affection. So children naturally remember mother's name. Same way, if one is able to remember Lord's name, that matlab, knowingly or unknowingly, there is a kind of bondage between them and the Lord. There is a kind of surrender between them and the Lord. That's why Lord's name came there. If one's heart is filled with sinful activities or sinful desires, why Lord's name will come to their mouth? It will not come. These are all neutral case studies. And such kind of people, because they are talking to Yamadutas and they are saying that these people are not qualified to come to hell. So they are neutral case studies, and also there is scope for positive improvement. They may die now, but the next life they will progress in their spiritual journey because they are almost pure. That's why they are able to remember Lord's name now at the time of death. All these case studies may be death case studies. falling from the cliff, falling from the building, and falling on the road, and by bitten by snake, and burnt by fever, severe fever, typhoid, cholera, and malaria. It is a case study of death. It can be. They are died. Are they going back to Godhead? Yeah, at least they are neutral now. They may not go to Godhead, but they will not go, certainly they will not go to. They are not supposed to go to hell. They will take birth here as a human being in the aristocratic family, and then they will continue their spiritual journey. So, like that. Beside the above mentioned four types of chanting, there is a fifth one: chanting in conditions beyond one's control with different varieties. So, in these four conditions are mentioned: Sanketyam, Parihasyam, Va, Stobam, Helanam, Evava. Sanketyam, Parihasyam, Stobam, Helanam. And that four conditions are there. And whatever conditions mentioned in this verse, they are the fifth condition, that is called emergency condition. Chanting while falling from a building, stumbling on the road, breaking one's limbs, being bitten by a snake or other animal, being burnt by fever, or being attacked with sticks, a person who is not a karmi, jnani, etc., will still be free from hell. So why the example of karmic jnani are mentioned here? Because karmi will have intense faith in the karmakanda rituals. Jnani will have intense faith in the jnana austerities. And they may not voluntarily try to take Lord's holy names. But others, somehow or other, because of their upbringing, they are always constantly chanting holy names. And they will also chant Lord's holy names at the time of death under any of these conditions. So, like that.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, in this one thing was mentioned in the translation that they will not enter the hellish life even though he is sinful. Means all the case studies were different types of death. So if somebody is sinful, still the holy name will appear on his name.
अजामिला है ना, अजामिला के इज आल्सो सिंफुल ना उनका।
अजामिला तो इन वो पहले से वो नारायण नारायण बोल रहा था ना, इसलिए
वही ना, ये लोग भी बोल रहे हैं ना, ऐसा नहीं अभी बोल रहे हैं, ये भी पहले से बोल भाई, दीज आर टिपिकल इंडियन कंडीशन आई एम सेइंग ना, दैट्स व्हाट आई एम अगेन अगेन सेइंग, दीज आर ऑल न्यूट्रल केस स्टडीज। वो जीवन भर बोला, इसकी वजह से भी मृत्यु के समय भी बोल पा रहे हैं।
ओके,
तो वही बोल रहा हूँ ना, उनके घर में, उनका बाजू बाजू में कोई तो था, फ्रेंड था, उनका नाम भगवान कृष्णा ना, रामा, नरसिम्हा, कोई तो नाम था, बोला होगा, कितना बार बोला होगा। बट न्यूट्रल केस स्टडी मतलब दे टोल्ड द नेम्स ऑफ द लॉर्ड बट मे नॉट बी डायरेक्टली इंडिकेटेड टू द लॉर्ड। फ्रेंड ने बोला होगा, एक जगह का देख के बोला होगा, दिस प्लेस इज लाइक अयोध्या, दिस प्लेस इज लाइक मथुरा, दिस प्लेस लाइक वृंदावन, ऐसे बोला होगा।
Okay, so not in negative tone, but in neutral.
That's what I'm again saying. These are all neutral case studies.
Okay, so that
They
is
have
why.
not performed any offense. They have performed many sins, but they have not performed any offense.
Okay, understood. But all these people, what we are talking, they will just not enter the hellish life. But what they will, they as per whatever their karmas and sins are, they may stay in Mrityulok, or as you said, they may enter the animal life or whatever. But they at least they will be saved from hellish life. That is it.
Because they are discussing with Yamadutas, they are saying that okay, you are not supposed to come to them. These are not the people whom you are supposed to take to hell. This is the first thing. The second, okay, they will not go to hell, then where they will go?
Yeah, right.
It depends on their karma, all these things. For example, take a sin, one sin of eating meat. So we discussed previously. So for eating meat, there are three level punishment. One level punishment is in the hell. Second level punishment, they will become goat. And third level punishment, they may become human being only, but they may be suffering with some disease or some physical impairment or mental impairment, all these things. So now the first level is removed. There is a possibility of second and third levels, or since they have chanted Lord's holy name, that is also removed. But they may get human life only. But in the second time, when they are given second chance, when they become human beings, now if they take it seriously, two things. not doing sin and increasing their bhakti. They will become ready candidates for going back to Godhead. Otherwise, they'll remain here. They'll continue to perform some pious activities, some sinful activities, and in between chanting Lord's holy names, calling their friends, relatives, and all. And they certainly they will not go to hell. They may go to heaven and come back again, or they may they evolve from one species to other species and staying here only.
Yeah, understood. Prabhuji. Thank you.
According to the gravity of the sin, the scriptures say that one must do correspondingly severe austerity. How is it that by chanting once in Nama Basa, all of the greatest sins are destroyed? आप ऐसे कैसे बोल सकते हैं? वेदास आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस, इनके लिए इतना व्रत करने का, इतना तपस्या करने का, इसके लिए इतना इतना इतना। आप लोग एक होली नेम के ऊपर लेकर इतना बहुत बोल रहे हैं क्या? इतना ये तो क्या बोलते हैं, एंटीथेसिस है। दिस इज अगेंस्ट व्हाट वेदास आर सेइंग. How can you say? How can you make such a huge claims? Then Vishnu say, Gurunam cha lagunam cha. Guru Gurunam cha lagunam cha Guruni cha laguni cha
Guru,
Prayachittani papanam Jnatvokthani maharshibi. Mataji, please read the translation.
Hare Krishna. Authorities who are learned scholars and sages have carefully ascertained that one should atone for the heaviest sins by undertaking a heavy process of atonement, and one should atone for lighter sins by undergoing lighter atonement. Chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, however, vanquishes all the effect of sinful activities, regardless of whether heavy or light.
So now Vishnudas are giving pramana. Oh, my dear Amadutas, don't think that we are only simply stating I claims. Jnata Uktani Maharshipi, the great Maharshis also say same thing. Not only us, the great Maharshis are saying. What they are saying? Guru Namcha Lagu Namcha, Guru Nicha Lagu Nicha, Prayachittani Papanam. The great sages, understanding the limited nature of the atonements, have said that severe atonements are prescribed for the grave sins and light atonements are prescribed for minor sins. Whatever you say is right. The Vedas say that this is the sin, this is the atonement. The great sages also say same thing. The same great sages also say same thing that जितना भी बड़ा हो, जितना भी छोटा हो पाप, सबके लिए एकमात्र solution है हरि नाम. The Vedas, the sages who prescribed Vedic remedies also prescribe wholesome remedy in the name of holy name. Those who are convinced with the Vedic remedy, they will do Vedic remedies. Those who are somehow or other, good or bad, attracted to holy name, they chant holy name and they get rid of all the sinful reactions. Because the atonements have limited power, such arrangements are prescribed. However, heaps of series of serious sins are destroyed by chanting once even a portion of the name, since it has inconceivably great power. Thus, the Abhinatva Nama Namane, the Lord has inconceivable power, the name also has inconceivable power. It is as easy as Balarama's ability to destroy all the Kauravas, including Duryodhana, in order to save Samba. At one point of time, Balaramji was dragging Hastinapur to drown into Ganga. It is as simple as that. Holy name also can do. The sin may be Gurunicha, Guruni, the topmost of the all sins. Still, the holy name can easily evaporate that. So that is the power of holy name, because holy name has inconceivably great power. We can't even imagine only how much power it has. Like that. So, see, one way this chapter may appears to be exaggerating too much for a neophyte people, but for the practicing devotees, in order to produce faith within us, in order to give a wholesome picture within us, these chapters are very essential to be studied very carefully, and so we will never have any doubt whether bhakti works or not, whether chanting works or not. Apparently, may not see any changes within us. Even we may see more than previously. Because previously we were not conscious of bad desires or bad thoughts, bad activities, bad behavior. But now after becoming devotees, we become very conscious. I should not think like this. I should not behave like this. I should not speak like this. But we spoke and we become sorry about it. So we may think that, okay, now previously I never felt like this. All these things were very quite casual, quite normal. Things were happening normally, and nobody felt offended at anything. But Abhi, now I should be worried. Should I speak or not? It goes to the extent that what this devotee may think, what the devotee may feel. It is better not to speak, not to say any word. So it becomes like a lot of anxiety in the mind, lot of difficulty, lot of anxiety. So there we may have doubt. Real bhakti is really acting or not? We hear bhakti is so simple, but here this is so complex. So we may become doubtful about the prasa bhakti also. So now Visnu say, Teistani agani puyante tapodana vratadibihi na dharmajam tadrudayam tadabhishangri sevaya. So what is the solution for such kind of difficulty, such kind of problems? This is the solution. Please read the translation, Mataji, or anybody.
Although one may neutralize the reactions of sinful life through austerity, charity, vows, and other such methods, these pious activities cannot uproot the material desire in one's heart. However, if one serves the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, he is immediately freed from all such contaminations.
Sins are destroyed by austerity, charity, and vows, but the root of sin is not destroyed. However, by bhakti to the Lord, apisha angri sevaya, even the root of the sin, namely the desire, is destroyed. Adharmajam, see, adharma is sin, and adharmajam means that which gives birth to the sin, that which gives birth to adharma, that is sinful desire, kama. So the tapa, dana, vrata, all these things may purify one's adharma, but not kama. But bhakti can purify one's kama, the sinful desire. So that is possible only when one takes to the shelter of angri sevaya, भगवान का चरण कमलों के प्रति सेवा, तभी होगा. By such atonement, sins are destroyed. The verbal root is pum, which means to destroy, punati. However, these atonements do not destroy subtle root. Hrudayam means the root of the sin, of the sins, adharmajam. By serving the feet of the Lord, by bhakti to the Lord, by one method, such as chanting among the 9 processes, the root of sin is destroyed. Since chanting destroys even the desire for sin. So bhakti means not only chanting but all the 9 processes. But chanting is easy. It is practical for one and all. So hearing, everyone may be able to do, may not be do. Because when we discuss philosophy, if you discuss Krishna Katha, everyone will hear. But philosophy, everyone will not be. Deity worship also, everyone will not be able to do. Offering prayers, chanting prayers, all other things, very difficult for everyone. Chanting, yeah, japa may be difficult for some, but kirtan is not at all difficult for anybody. Any normal, simple, ordinary person or any highly intellectual, technical person also can do kirtanam. उसमें किसी का तकलीफ नहीं. So in that way, the chanting is glorified. But chanting in this way is not done with knowledge that it is atonement. तो आप बोल रहे हैं भगवान का नाम लेगा तो सांकेत्यम पारिहास्यम हेलनम स्तोभनम है तो बाबा ये इन सब में किसी किधर भी ये भगवान के प्रति इंडिकेशन है ही नहीं, ये भगवान का नाम नहीं ले रहा है करके कोई सोचते नहीं. How can it act as atonement? So now, finally, the concluding verses from Vishnu Dutas, last two verses, they say that Ajnanadata Vajnanat Uttama Shloka Namayat Sankirtitam Magam Pumsho Dahed Edo Yatanala.
As a fire burns dry grass to ashes, so the holy name of the Lord, whether chanted knowingly or unknowingly, burns to ashes without faith all the reactions of one's sinful activity.
Whether somebody puts one's finger knowingly into the fire or unknowingly into the fire has the potential to burn. Similarly, one chants the Lord's holy names knowingly or unknowingly, the holy name will perform its duty, its activities. Chanting the name of the Lord with or without knowledge of its powers destroys a man's sin, just as fire destroys dry grasses. Just as fire lit innocently by a small child burns dry grass, so chanting without knowledge also burns up heaps of sins. One no need to be knowledgeable, one no need to chant for the sake of atonement. Even if one try to chant holy names for the sake of atonement, that is not at all recommended. That is also one of the 10 offenses. But if one chants casually, that has great potency than knowingly chanting the names as atonement. So like that. Not only does the name destroy sin, but it bestows the prema for the Supreme Lord. Another example is given. The last example. The holy name not only acts as the atonement, but it also awards the Krishna prema to the chanter. When it may take some time, but it will do it. Yatagadam viryatamam upayuktam yadruchaya अजानतोऽपि आत्मगुणं कुर्यान् मन्त्रोऽपि उदाहृतः.
If a person unaware of the effective potency of a certain medicine takes the medicine or is forced to take it, it will act even without his knowledge because its potency does not depend on the patient's understanding. Similarly, even though one does not know the value of chanting the holy name of the Lord, if one chants knowingly or unknowingly, the chanting will be very effective.
Yeah. In the previous verse, there was example of fire. Yeah, even a small child puts fire, big person puts fire, it burns, whichever is supposed to burn. So one may say that क्या what example you are giving? Fire तो fire है, fire तो burn करेगा. ऐसे कैसे बोल सकते हैं fire नहीं burn करेगा ऐसा करके. Other example, Ayurveda medicine. When one takes the medicine, whether one may understand how this medicine acts or may not, but medicine acts. Just as powerful medicine, when taken without knowledge of its powers, still produces its effects quickly. So, chanting the name of the Lord also produces effects quickly without knowing its powers. Vedrichya means suddenly, without knowing. Strong medicine taken without knowing produces its qualities of curing disease, giving strength and nourishment. Three effects will take place. That means one is going through some disease and one is taking some Ayurveda medicine or any medicine in the sense, some scriptures of Ayurveda medicine I'm saying. So the medicine will have three functions to do. It cures the disease, it strengthens the physical health, and it gives nourishment. Similarly, the name uttered in the form of mantra or a mantra composed of the name of the Lord when chanted gives its effects. One does not have to know the powers of the name in order for it to have its effect. So that's how Vishnu said that. So one no need to know that okay, holy name can atone, can remove all the sinful reactions. It acts as atonement, not like that. Knowingly or unknowingly, but without any offense, without any criticism. If one takes the names, there is a full-fledged effect. This is how the Vishnu Dutas have established the potency of the holy name, the glories of the holy name, the potency, glories of the paths of bhakti. After speaking all these words, and they clearly said, Ajamila is not a candidate for hell. Not only Ajamila, any candidate like Ajamila, in all the according to all these case studies, anyone who fulfills in one of these case studies, is not qualified to be taken to hell. उनको छोड़ के बाकी लोगों को लेके जाओ. So that's what the Vishnudutas have declared. And then the Yamadutas have no other thing. They'll go back to Yamaraj, and Vishnudutas also will disappear. Now Ajamila, hearing this conversation, he realizes what kind of a sinner I was. So now, because he was a Brahmana, whatever Brahmanical samskaras which were all he acquired, which went to dormant state, now they came forward. And even much more than that, now we will practice bhakti with full swing. So that is what is the rest of the chapter. So that we will discuss next week. We will stop here and will not take any questions also. Now it's already late and I will have to go for the program. वहाँ पे चालू हो गया होगा. So now I will I'm requesting all of you, please be there in the temple next week. I'll be there. I'll be coming to tomorrow night. I'll be traveling from Monday. I'll be reaching the temple Monday night. Tuesday morning and I'll be there in the temple. So hopefully we'll meet next Saturday evening in the temple. We'll have direct class. And though it is the Gita Jayanti day, there will be a Gita Yajna. Some of the devotees might want to have some Gita lesson programs in your area or in your homes and all. But still, any case, we need to have a class. We cannot give away the class. We will be having class, maybe small or maybe medium or maybe same class, full class in the temple. So request whoever it is possible, please come to temple next Saturday.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Prabhuji,
Ah.
class